are standing on in downtown Toronto is the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Chippewa, and the Wendat peoples. We also acknowledge that this land is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. This is how the City of Toronto recognizes hundreds of years of Indigenous history. When you acknowledge this land and its history, what are you actually acknowledging? Do you know who these nations are? Were you taught about them in school? Do you know their individual languages, cultures, and histories?
So, for today's agenda, we have the land acknowledgement, which we just had, the introduction and icebreaker, setting the stage, which includes guidelines for success and purpose of the E and ED working group. We have a presentation by the Black Chamber of Commerce, who that will be kind of tentative. We're still waiting for them to attend. And we have the Anti-Racism Action Program, who will also be presenting today. Then we will have EED updates and meeting wrap-up.
Hi folks, sorry about that. So once again, my name is Varda. I am the community outreach worker at ARAP, which is the Anti-Racism Action Project, which is also in collaboration with the SDP network. Right now, we kind of wanted to do a needs assessment within the SDP network and kind of have about 15 minutes to talk a little bit about it while completing it as well. So for the online folks, I'll send a quick link. And while I do that, I'll talk a bit about why we're doing this needs assessment. So the purpose for the needs assessment is to gauge where folks stand with anti-racism action and learning and just general ideas of where they are at, just to gauge that portion and knowledge to kind of conduct our activities within the SDP network. So for the online folks, I will send the link right there. It should take about 15 minutes to complete. Please let me know if you have any issues accessing the link. For the people that are in person, there are QR codes to the side. You can scan it through your phone and do it through the phone to do our needs assessment. And we also have physical copies as well. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please let me know, either in the chat or just say them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Please take about 15 minutes to complete them. Up to you. You wanted to. And there's also a raffle as well. So if you complete them, we have a $50 Amazon raffle. Just note that your anonymity will be removed because of the raffle as well. So please complete the survey.
And then for those here?
Sorry. And for the people that are here right now, we have a QR code to the side on the table that you can scan on your phones to complete the survey. Like I said, it's just a survey about your thoughts and actions about, so that's our healing session that we do as well on the side. It's the QR code, yeah. And we also have a physical copy. Once you're done, just keep them in the envelope as well. Yeah, and you just scan them.
Are you asking us to do that now?
Yes, please. Sorry, I should have been a bit more clear. Please, can you complete the survey? It takes about 15 minutes. So, like I said, there's a physical copy on the side, and there's also a QR copy if you scan it with your phone. So whatever copy works, and I have a little flyer.
$50 raffle tonight?
Not tonight, no.
Because that's going to give me incentive to want to do it.
Not tonight, unfortunately, no.
No? Oh.
Not tonight, but you will be considered for a raffle, though. Yeah. You should still do it, though.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I'm not excited to do it now.
Aw.
I was excited if I was going to get the money now.
Eventually.
Murshida, I see that you have a question. Give me a few seconds. You can unmute
Recording in progress.
the mute from there. You mute, right?
Yeah.
Hello?
Take the audio out.
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hi there.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello?
What if you did the survey from the other meeting?
Oh, that's absolutely okay. If you did it in another meeting, you don't need to do it again.
I don't have to do it,
Yeah,
right?
you don't have to do it again. No. And in the meantime, I would like to share that we have a Healing with Tea event coming up on the 29th. I will also write that in the chat. And essentially what we do in these healing sessions is just have an opportunity to open up the dialogue for discussing issues and experiences with a judgment-free zone. And so our topic for the 29th session is Somatic Healing, which is healing through our bodies, and just kind of having more of an awareness and recognizing that racism is a trauma and mental health issue. So kind of working towards recognizing where those, sorry about that, just have a lot of windows. But basically our sessions are, the somatic one is for, somatic healing, sorry. And so we're gonna focus a lot more on the techniques and methods to kind of bring that awareness up to front.
If you finished the survey, please indicate it on the chat so we know that the number of you who have filled it out. For those who are on audience here, how many people were able to use the code to be able to fill out the survey? Yeah.
Are you able to get on the code properly? Oh yeah, sorry, I should have been more clear. Could you please do it now?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. This
you-
is my first meeting, so I'm
Yeah,
a little
you-
nervous.
Yeah, use the QR code to be able to start and finish the survey if you're able to. And then for those who are in the chat, please use the link to fill out the survey. And once you've finished, please indicate that in the chat so that we know that the number of you have finished it. It's about 6 o'clock. Thank you for those who have filled out the survey. If you've not had any opportunity to fill it out, please do fill it out. It gives us an opportunity to curate these learnings based on what your experiences are. So thank you, Varda. Thank you for your team for coming over and and introducing us to this program. Now I'd like to provide updates, employment and economic development updates, and then hopefully we will have the Black Chambers of Commerce. But for now, I'll provide some updates from the employment and economic development table. So if you can remember, about a few months ago, this table have applied for a grant that was coming from Metcalf Foundation. The grant, we prepared a proposal based on what we felt were the needs of the table. And the proposal was around, there's lots of investments that are coming to our community. These investments are community benefits. There's a new phases in Regent Park, phases 4 and 5. And this was an opportunity to explore how do we make job opportunities that are coming from the development to the larger Regent Park. So we drafted a proposal and we submitted. And the idea of the proposal was that we create what's called an employment pathway. And the idea of an employment pathway is we have conversations with the developer. We ask them what are the job opportunities that are coming down the road, be they 4 weeks, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. What are some concrete jobs that are coming? And then we collect that information from the developer, all the jobs that are coming. Then we do deep community outreach and share that information with everybody in the community, and we inform them about these are the job opportunities that are coming right now, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year. And then we work with Toronto Community Housing, we work with the developer, we work with our local partners, and what we do is we create support systems to help them land those jobs. if it's a resume, if it's cover letter, if it's certification, if it is everything that it would take to get that job. We would coordinate with the service providers to make sure that anyone who's on the pathway who want those jobs are able to get support. So we've been approved for that proposal from Metcalf, and so that's a big step in terms of resourcing some of the priorities of this table. Right now, we're looking to create a hiring committee to hire someone, who will coordinate those pieces. So we're looking to find recruitment from this table. If you're interested in being a process to hire someone who will coordinate that project, please let us know, so that you can be part of that committee that hires. So that's one update I wanted to inform you. Another update is, as many of you know, all the projects from the Employment and Economic Development table have been submitted. We have submitted from the Employment and Economic table, I believe, 2 projects. One project is around the animation of the living room cafe. That was submitted. Another project was around what's called, it's sort of like the twin of the employment pathway. We want to create an entrepreneurial pathway. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're at a different level of your business, so some of you are at a very high level operating, and some of you are still in the beginning stages, and some of you are thinking about starting a business. So what we want to do is we want to offer training and workshops for any one of you at all these levels. We want to be able to say, what is it that you need if you're at this level, what is it that you need if at that level. So we will be providing workshops and mentoring and coaching for entrepreneurs from Regent Park. So that is part of the submission we've made to the city's granting process as well. So that's an update. We will hear whether we've been successful or not in December. So that's one thing. The other thing is, if you have been part of a project from 2021, the SDP stakeholders table would like for you to present your projects from 2021 on a December 7th stakeholder table meeting. There will be an email that will be sent to you. So if you are someone who has submitted a project for 2021, you will receive an email, and we're hoping that you will present the outcomes from your project at a stakeholders table meeting here in the living room on December 7th. So you'll get an email from the stakeholders table as well. Those are some of the updates. And also, I believe there's an employment opportunity from Cafe Zuzu. This employment opportunity is to take part in a training program. Well, it's a paid training program, and you'll get an opportunity to start a job as a front house, line cook, and other opportunities as well. So keep an eye on your emails. If you know someone who's interested in the restaurant business who wants to start, please keep that in the forefront of your mind. So I'll open up the floor for anyone who has a question or who has themselves an update in terms of employment and economic development opportunities to share with everybody. So I see one from the floor, Joanne. If you're able to share your question with us, that'd be great.
It was a collaboration with formerly known as RP&I, Regent Park Neighborhood Initiative, and TCHC and the University of Toronto. They had a small business incubator project program, which was to support the economic development of Regent Park by providing capacity, building support, and services to small business owners and potential owners serving the Regent Park community. So I don't really have a question, but we seem to be always reinventing the wheel when we already have a foundation. And the foundation here is all in this binder with the collaboration of Regent Park and UFT and TCHC. It's the whole step-by-step guide on how to create your own business, what to do, where to go. And so I just implore Regent Park and our institutions and our SDP tables to stop reinventing the wheel and wasting taxpayers' dollars when we have a template already. We do, it's all here. It's
Yeah.
all here.
So,
And if we don't know our history, we don't know where we're going. And then when we don't know where we're going, we waste taxpayers' dollars.
yeah,
So
I
that's
think,
all I have to say.
yeah, so I think, I think those are good points, to be. Yeah, so I think those are good points to be able to be rooted in what has been done before. Revitalization right now, we're in the end of it, right? We're not at the beginning of it, we're in the end of it. So have understanding what has worked, what's been done. Those are really important things. And that's why I really appreciate those who have that context. I think what they call me, who's the co-chair of the employment table, taking a look at that document would be really essential. Let me finish. I'll give it back to you. I'll give it back to you.
No. This is not free. This is hard work.
No, let me finish. So what I'm saying is understanding context is important. So, but if you ask all the entrepreneurs, there's been a level of activation. There's so many interested entrepreneurs right now. Even at the last meeting we had, there was about 40 entrepreneurs who are interested in building their businesses. So if you ask them what is it that you need in terms of taking your business to the next level, they can tell you, I need coaching here, I need coaching there. So what is it that we will do in this project is that's the first thing we'll do is a need assessment. We're going to ask them, currently with where you're at, what is it that you need? And then based on that information, we will build workshops and coaching around that. Now, sharing that information is important. I know you've said that that's not free, and I think that's, however you can share that information and to base our programming based on that information, I think is essential.
So going back to anti-Black racism, we've been here a long time. Our information gets used. Sorry. Going back to the term anti-Black racism, our information gets used. We get no acknowledgement, but who gets the acknowledgement? It's the institutions, like Toronto Community Housing, which is an institution, white supremacist institution, the government, white supremacist institution. So when we share our information, Black people in collaboration with the educational system or whomever that may be, we get lost in the sauce. Anti-Black racism, and we gotta stop that. We do not work for free in this community anymore. Those days are over. Phoenix.
And
That sounds good.
can I?
Damn
So
right.
I do want to touch on some excellent points made, and the response to some of those comments is literally coming here today. So unfortunately, you see stuck in traffic, but the parse, he's from the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce, and their mandate is to support racialized people in entrepreneurship and employment. And the one key piece that we have heard is like agencies, institutions would come and show everyone how to do it, and then the entrepreneur would say, what's next? So when I had the conversation with the Black Chamber of Commerce, I had one with intentionality, and I said, there's entrepreneurs that are ready to go. What can you offer that they haven't been offered already? So you have that lovely binder there that you worked really, really hard on, and that is a good foundation. So when I spoke to him, he said, we offer a full wraparound support to have someone from at any point in their entrepreneurship journey, also with access to grants and bank loans. So for someone who's been an entrepreneur but can't have that funding piece, the Black Chamber of Commerce is to bridge that gap and take that entrepreneur to the next step. So I completely hear what you're saying, and I just hope he gets there soon because it feeds into exactly what you brought up.
And there's just lots of money for the Black community right now.
Let me come over to you.
Entrepreneurship, so I hope he gets here really soon to
Yes.
explain the Black opportunities that are available, because the money is here for Black entrepreneurship, for people who want to open up their own businesses, but people just don't know it, or they're not aware of the avenues to go about getting it. And I'll leave it at that. I've said too much, like, I'm taking up too much space.
No, that's fine. And this is one avenue. Yeah, this is one avenue, but they will be in Regent Park. But let me pass it to my friend Willie here in the next one.
Thank you so much, Sean. I just first of all want to congratulate the co-chairs of the EED, the staff, the Metcalf Foundation grant. That's a big accomplishment.
Yes.
We should all be very, very thankful. This is amazing work.
Yes.
And the next thing I just want to quickly say, it's about, one of the key priorities for the EED, and I know it's part of the SDP funding cycle, which is local employment, right? Hiring locally. This has been a theme in our community for such a long time. And one very important thing that I think we need to think about is policies that prohibit residents from actually seeking opportunities, beyond just staying within poverty, right? So we know, for example, a lot of TCHC residents who basically qualify for rent geared to income. If they make a certain amount of money, they will lose their subsidy, right? So we need to challenge policies that are outdated. How can we do that systemic review of policies that preclude residents in our community from seeking those employment opportunities? And the other thing is we need to actually do an audit of all the local employers. Who's committed to local hiring? There's so much money being invested in our community. Why aren't residents able to access good paying jobs? We're not talking about precarious jobs, part-time jobs, seasonal jobs, on and off, unsustainable jobs. We're talking about good jobs. Good jobs, good working hours, vacation time, so we can address the mental health needs of our community, right? Making sure that, there are benefits, good benefits. So what does that commitment look like from our employers in Regent Park? We need to think about that audit so that we could get them to commit to policies that make sure there's local hiring. Make sure that residents of Regent Park, in TCH, or in Market, who are seeking for opportunities in our community, get access to those opportunities. And there's an intentional collection of data. Who's getting hired? How many people are getting hired, right? Which demographics, right? So we can understand the anti-Black racism and its manifestation, right? Systemically, we need to make that happen. So I want to challenge everyone who's part of this working group to think of ways where we could support each other, work with our co-chairs, work with the staff that are hired through the EED, to make sure that we build in those pieces, right? And that framework to make sure that when we meet again next year, we can come back and say, you know what? When that priority of local hiring, here's how we delivered, right? So I just want to point that out. And I actually want to thank Joanne one more time for talking about anti-Black racism. It's something that we don't talk a lot about, and we don't talk about the systemic barriers. So hopefully we'll all work together to address those barriers. Thank you.
Thank you. I do have one more person. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that's you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I don't know if you can see me, but can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My question is, when people have brought up a lot about institutional and systematic, and how do we reconcile, anti-Blackness being inherent in white supremacist, capitalist, racist system, and talking about employment and opportunities? Because I think if we're talking about a way out of poverty, a way out, but we're not really talking about restoration and restitution and coming to terms with our historical and, of course, recent history and, of course, current history of Black people, African people being really at the margins of a white dominant society. So I don't know if I don't have the answer. I'm just trying to put it out there. How do we reconcile that? Is our solution then to give people opportunities and specifically emphasize entrepreneurship as a way out of racism? Is there a way out of racism specifically anti-Black racism? I guess that's my question. I don't have an answer for it.
We're gonna pass this to the eloquently spoken again.
Yeah, y'all ain't gonna like what I gotta say. So I like to, for me, everything is a 360. That's one side of the coin. You've just given me 180, if I can count. Yeah, and the other is 180. And here's the thing. So there are 22 good jobs. Because I don't know what good means, and you have to define what good is for me, right? There are 22 good jobs available at Cafe Zuzu. It was a struggle to get people to apply. It was a struggle. So do you want good jobs or not? I'm just asking. I'm gonna have to ask the very hard questions. I don't have a degree in anything in this country. I've been discriminated in this country like you would not believe, and I try not to talk about it because I get very emotional, right? Your journey has not been my journey, I can tell you that. And my journey was a very difficult journey. Almost 30 years ago. Very, very difficult journey. I came during the Oka crisis. If you want, you can go do some research on that. I've been homeless. I've lived in my car. I've not had enough to eat. I've been called a nigger. So I've gone through everything that you can think about when it comes to racism. I had to recognize who I was and what I needed to do for me. And I think that that is also part of this conversation. What do you need to do for you? I did not have the supports you now have. I make a very, very good income. And I do that because there was a white woman that gave me an opportunity. And there was a Black woman that did not. Should I hate my sister for that? No. But I need to let you know my story, right? And at the end of the day, Black people, brown people, purple people, white people, we are still human. So how do we solve for all the things that happen in society that bring us down, right? Is, when I invite a politician to this meeting, are they coming or are they only coming when it's election time? I'm just asking some questions based on what I've experienced. Do we have these conversations with our councillors, our MPs, MPPs about breaking down those barriers? Because certainly I asked the question of a politician. The question was, will you fight to get a apology from Canada for what has happened to Black people in this country? And the response back was, let's do the work, an apology is just an apology. Right? Well, you cannot, you have to say sorry if you're gonna fix something. You say sorry first and then you fix. So and I agree, we have to do the work. There's no question about that. But I'm saying that I can't fix it, and probably you can't fix it. I mean, collectively we can absolutely do some things, but that at the end of the day, is our city councilor gonna say, look, this is causing harm, having to say to you, if you live in TCHC and you make X amount, you're going to lose. Are they willing to go to fight for it? Because that's who you elected to go fight for you. And those are the questions that when there's the political meetings that we should come and ask. Is what I see. I think, look, I am an entrepreneur as well, and it's a difficult journey. I have been, I would call it, abused by the banks, and I cannot even afford a loan anyways, right? But I've been fortunate to go out there and do some research, and I've found 180 women who are entrepreneurs who is a support mechanism that I can use. We've created, to Isma's point, a women's entrepreneur group. But these are entrepreneurs of all types. These are entrepreneurs, I can only work 2 hours, right? I can work 7 days a week. I've got kids, so how do you provide access to assist them? And I think that's what Ismail was also talking about in terms of the project that we asked to be funded. Can we provide childcare so that that woman can come and do her thing? Can we provide a subsidy because she didn't make $200 today and she's already brought this product that is perishable and will need to throw away, right? Did you know that there's an app when restaurants have food that is, they can't sell it in, you can get that food, right? Cafe Susie does it, although they never seem to have anything, but that's another story. So, right? So I'm just saying there's all these things, and I think that we do need to support each other to make these things happen. We won't all be friends all the time, but I think we have a lot of brain power, a lot of emotional power in this room in Regent Park, and we have to figure out how to. I do hear a lot of, oh, TCHC didn't do, oh, that news didn't do. I do hear that a lot. I'm not sure if that's helping us anymore. It's on the record, we said it so many times. So I say leave them alone. Let's get together and do what we have to do. That's what I say. I think when people see that you're doing what you have to do, they're willing to say, okay, you know what, I will help you. But sometimes you gotta kind of put your foot in there and hope that, you know, there's somebody to catch you, to hold you, to support you. And that's what I found in my journey as a Black woman. That's what I found in my journey as a female entrepreneur. And plus the government, you know, like 530 something billion they've committed to women entrepreneurship. Like, yeah, let's do it. Let's find the money. Because it's
Fatiha said bravo.
Yeah. So.
Fatiha said bravo. Bravo, Gail said Fatiha said.
No. I think
Fardosa said well said, Walid. Sending messages to people. Fardosa said well said, Walid.
I think a key thing was brought up in regards to the institutions, and I myself working for TCHC, I can kind of speak to like some of their approach, and like there has to be the policy at the higher level, and Toronto Housing has brought up the confronting anti-Black racism, the CABR strategy, and also that formulated into the Center for Advancing the Interests of Black People. So there's that piece on the institutional level, but there's also what we're doing right now in the intentionality and having the right individuals in the right spaces. So I myself, I'm the one who brought the Black Chamber of Commerce to help address and get to the root of some of the things that was brought up here in this meeting. So it's a multifaceted approach to solve some of the greater issues that we're facing, and these conversations are good so we can get to the realities of the situation.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I saw that it's sort of like in the lobby of one of the buildings, and I think that someone like me, it's seeing that in a community housing building, it's and looking into what they are. For me, Chamber of Commerce is very right wing, like, and I see if it's like, oh, it's Black people doing it, I also think it's very right wing, because it's saying that to me is that this is how you get out of poverty. Like, this is how it doesn't matter how you got here, with all the things that are going on. You want to get out of housing. You know that's how I took it, and I'm glad you addressed that. But I just think that historically, let's just say the regular Chamber of Commerce, right? They are pro-business, they're pro-capital, they're not pro-people, right? They're pro-profit. That's the bottom line. They're there so for me, I think although Black Chamber of Commerce, the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce is a non-profit, I just think that they're still pushing that. And I think that's where my concern is that you're making it very individualistic, and you're saying that this is your way out of poverty. And I think that, like you said right before, that's one of the ways in which people can have. But I think we need to, like the speaker before, are talking about, we all have our stories, but I think that collectively, we're looking at anti-Black racism collectively, right? We're not looking at interpersonal. It's not interpersonal. It's not a beef between two people. So if we're looking at this in terms of the lens, right? You're looking at anti-oppressive, anti-oppression, anti-Black racism, white supremacy through that, anti-white supremacy lens. Then you have to ask yourself: are we looking at individual people in the community as individuals or as collective? And I think some of us have that understanding, but I think that it is sort of still pushing that very narrow, individualistic. This is how you get, this is how you get out of your situation. And if you don't, you know what? It's your fault, and you deserve to be here. That's all I'm saying. But thank you for it.
And that's a good point to bring up when he comes to speak.
Okay, I'll be here.
The Phoenix.
First, I want to thank Gail for actually inviting me here. We had a good discussion earlier this morning.
Yes, this morning.
So thank you. Waleed, I want to thank you for all the good points that you've made today. And I forgot your name.
It's okay. It's okay.
Sorry.
Just call me sister.
Sister.
That's
So
nice.
I actually work for the institution as well. And I'm going to share a little bit. So I'm a caseworker for Ontario Works. And, you know, how do I say this? Our system that is created, that we have right now, actually reinforces and creates the poverty that we're in today. So let's just keep that. Ontario Works, ODSP, it's systemic to keep people in its place, and that's poverty. When we talk about TCHC, the whole system is to keep people in its place, keep them in housing where they cannot move forward. The system is in bed together. Ontario Works, TCHC. And I'm speaking from both sides of the coin. My mother was a single mother when my father came to Canada in the 70s, he got a job at the City of Toronto cleaning the streets of Regent Park in Cabbagetown. The second day he came into Toronto with no Canadian experience, grade 6 education. They just asked him, do you have a social insurance number? He said no. They told him, go to Front Street. He went to Front Street, get a social insurance number. Boom. Full-time unionized job working for the government. Today, if you want a City of Toronto employment job, you've got to do your resume, you've got to jump the hoops, do the phone call, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you're still not getting the job. So now when we talk about systemic racism and poverty, when we do get those good paying jobs, you're going to deal with anti-Black racism on the job. So when we talk about the city having this anti-Black racism, what is it called, secretariat, the one issue that they're not aware of is you have to understand how labor unions work. Because we as Black people, Indigenous people, or BIPOC, we are being hit by racism by the very same institution that's supposed to be supporting us, our own very unions. So how do we get out of this poverty? I think Gail gave us a great example. It starts with the individual. It does not start with the government. It does not start with TCHC. It starts with your mentality. Because poverty is not just physical, it's also in your mind. You know, we see Black people in the past, no supports from the government, but how did they rise up? The government was not doing anything for them. White people back in the past in America were given all the lands. They were able to build businesses with nickels and dimes, if you listen to Malcolm X, right? They had the support. We as Black people had to pull ourselves up from nowhere. And so if we want to get out of poverty, it starts with the individual. So me, when my mom went into Ontario Works and I saw all of that, I'm like, I'm not going there. I'm getting myself out of that mess and out of that rat hole. I no longer live in TCHC. I bought my own home, paid off, and I'm not letting no system control me. So Gail, I want to say thank you for your story, because I think we have to share our stories on how we get out of poverty, because no matter where we go, we're going to be hit with racism, and we're going to be hit hard. As long as we don't fit the description, and we know what that description is, and we have, if you look at all levels of government, from the federal government, province, to our municipal, they're all white, male, with privilege. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Premier Doug Ford, Mayor John Tory. Where are they when we have these kinds of meetings? If they're not hearing our stories, then we're at a loss already. So it starts with us, not with the institutions. So thank you, Gail. Thank you, Lee.
I just want to say quickly that something very important is a theme that we can't forget about is transparency and accountability, right? If we do not embed those very important tools or mechanisms in everything that we do, then we're just going to set ourselves for failure, right? And the reason why I'm such a huge advocate for that is because, you know, we can never have change, can never have systemic change unless we tell, you know, our own truths, our own experiences with systemic barriers that exist, right? Joanne is like a wonderful example of someone, you know, who persevered to be able to be a homeowner, right? Although those systemic challenges, and there's actually an opportunity for home ownership. Back then, homes were worth $300,000 or $350,000. Now they're worth $1.2 million. So we can't expect the next generation or future generations to think that you know what, I'm not working hard enough, right? Because there are people who are taking on more than one job, multiple jobs just to pay their way, right? And the people who sometimes apply for the same job more than once and never get hired, right? And they're even actually pushed to live outside their communities because the opportunities that exist are no longer within their own community because they can't access it, right? That's why I'm a huge advocate for local employment, right? Because if you don't allow people to live where they work, it's first, it's not sustainable. Two, you're not helping build a community where people feel invested in. That's very important. And the other thing is about whistleblower protection. I actually just thought about this when some of us were talking about this. Is it possible for like staff, for residents, to speak to their experiences in a way where their complaints can be addressed in a confidential way, right? Where there's no repercussions. And I think about my black sisters, for example, who work on the Ontario Public Service. You know, I remember I went to a meeting a couple of years ago. It was a very traumatizing meeting because of all these black women who are trying to get promotions, they're paying off their mortgages, right? They have family to feed, and they're basically getting pushed out of opportunities. They're not promoted, they're getting bullied and intimidated, they've been told to put in their place, and then there was this wave of suspensions and firings of black women in the Ontario Public Service. And there was a call for a moratorium, basically meaning stop the firing, stop the suspensions. And this was a request made to the anti-black racism unit that existed back then under the leadership of Michael Coteau, former Minister Michael Coteau. And in the beginning, they were not in support of it, right? They were like, well, we can't just do that. They were so resistant to that idea. But because there was so much public pressure from the black community and from so many other communities that were allied to making sure that there was justice, that they announced a moratorium. So what I'm trying to communicate is that we need to make sure that we have the best practices implemented even within our community to allow for that change, for us to address privilege, for us to address the systemic barriers, right? For us to secure local employment for people living in our community, right? So we need to think about transparency and accountability, and most importantly, how we can protect the voices of the few that have the courage to speak up, right? Because there's so much violence that happens when, you know, people are not treated with respect, people are not treated as human beings, right? And that's why we're so committed to equity and eliminating anti-black racism. It's because it's about dignity. So thank you.
Oh, you need to answer? Okay. So I'm going to give you that chance, that opportunity.
Yeah, I'm hearing so much powerful messaging that I feel like I have to say. No, I just wanted to just double down on this idea that it's on us. Lots of people are creating messes around the world. They've historically been creating messes, and in order to set things right, it's up to other people to fix it as well. So I've been thinking about this idea. How do you go about fixing it, right? So for us, we have an opportunity to fix it here in Regent Park. We've created structures that can help us do that. So if I'm by myself and I say X, Y, Z, maybe someone will hear, maybe someone will not hear. But if we gather together and create these processes or these institutions as our institutions, start with one project, start with another project, fix it up, add value to it, maybe we stand a chance of having influence about the problems we face. And to me, that's why this is an opportunity. The Employment and Economic Table is an opportunity for us to co-design something together, co-design an intervention. It's not going to be easy. We're going to be upset with one another because we have different ideas, but at least we can try to create initiatives. So I just want to double down on this idea that you join that effort, that you join this effort to co-design initiatives together. And there's lots of opportunities. What do you call it? Money's being spent everywhere. So in Regent Park, we get an opportunity to do it together. So join us in terms of the hiring committee. I know that 2 people have already signed up. Thank you for that. We'll connect with you around that. And for you and others, lots of times we're writing proposals, we're developing projects. If you have an interesting idea, I'm always here. Let's come together and co-create that intervention. It's not going to be ideal, but at least we'll try together. Anything?
No, you said can reach out to me to what?
Let's say you have an idea.
Oh yeah.
And
I have a lot.
yeah, and you want to create something. So that's why me and Gail all the time, what we're doing is we're looking at are there opportunities to write a proposal? Are there opportunities to do something? So in the EED table, that's the opportunity that's available to us. And I'm just saying, those of you who are interested in change, we start here together. Yeah. You wanted to add something? I believe we're
Yeah,
beyond.
I have a kind of question or comment on it, but that's me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I just want to have a comment, kind of, some thoughts I want to share. More? Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe, yeah. Can I use? Sorry. I don't know, but just I have some thoughts, maybe kind of concerns. When it comes to employment, since this meeting is about employment, yeah, so it's like, I applied for maybe 2 or 3 since I came to, since like just recently. And the thing is that I look at the hiring committee and I keep seeing the same faces all over. So I have 2 questions. Are those people in charge of our Regent Park? The thing is that different employment, like it's called different kind of opportunities. So it's not something that it's related to a project or it's related to an organization. No, I applied research, I applied this, that. Same faces. I wonder, those people own Regent Park? I love the message you put, who owns Regent Park? So those people are in charge of that? Why the same faces we keep having?
Because they're the only ones that volunteer.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
why
I was just gonna say
I'm
that.
asking,
Yeah.
that's why when we ask right now, who wants to volunteer?
Okay, wonderful. Now I have an answer for that. And I hope don't see, because last time I applied and it's just something happened, so I cut off the meeting. But honestly, I'm saying that here, just because I saw that face, where I don't like to see that face, where always that person criticizes me for no reason. With a degree, GPA 4 out of 4, with full experience, 7 years, I committed to this community, giving the best of my time, my love, from my heart I give that support. And it doesn't matter that person, just that person without mentioning gender, she or he, they or whatever, that person likes to put me down. And I knew this from one of the opportunities that the committee agreed, but that person said no. And why? Because one of the reasons, I have small children, maybe I will back off, maybe I can't commit. It's not my problem if my kids get sick. Does anyone here or online control sickness? It's not my fault because my children, they were born with some food allergies problems. It's not my problem. So is it something that you shame people for? And I wish that person is here to hear that. And I just heard this recently. I wish I heard that before. So it's really ridiculous how people are naming people and giving them titles or giving them credits, giving them, I don't know. But we need to change faces. This is for sure. And thank you so much. This is wonderful news to hear because we need to get, it's not also for us as people who apply and also for others who wants to be on the committee, because they need to gain experience. We need as residents to get that chance. We need to have an experience how to hire because when we apply for jobs, we will know how those people look at things. When you're gonna be like, you're gonna feel that the way that they look at you, you're gonna understand what the question or what the answer they are looking for. You're gonna have that experience. So next time when you apply for a job, you will be more confident. Because those are not, someone scare you. No, you have been there and you know that feeling. You feel confident because you have been there. So it's an opportunity that we need to try, we need to gain, we need to have as residents. We deserve that. And I don't think it's because there is no one stepping there, because those people, especially two of those committee, two people, they work for organizations, they love getting power. They love getting in there and putting their noses in those things. Wallahi, I'm observing things. It's not just I go to meetings, yeah, I make lots of jokes and I love that, but also I observe people. And I know who is there to help, who is there to get more power. Because they would be co-chair, they would be a volunteer, they would be outreach, they would be parents, I have no clue how they were doing all of that. You know, so if I say I want to be, one time I said I want to be one of the hiring committee. And I didn't have the chance. Why? Because the same people were there. So why we can't? Is it because I criticize things and I look at things a way that's different from them? I may challenge them? No, if I'm wrong, stop me, but do not push me back from opportunities because personally you don't like me. So here I guess in the community more about how people, sometimes it's personal, they take it personal. As that person took me, and was an appointment for research. And research, I had done 1 year with the United Nations, we worked in that project globally. So we worked with Asia, Africa, I was in charge of Africa and South America, Mexico and Brazil. And so, I mean, alhamdulillah, I have what I call it wonderful experience. I love my experience. I have different people, I worked and I learned a lot, and we translated many other languages, not only Arabic. I worked with my colleagues where we translated other, I tried to help them Vietnamese, and I mean, all over. So I can't even remember the languages we use. I mean, with all of those, working as a graduate assistant, working as an Arabic researcher, all of that, just because of my kids? What kind of discrimination I would just, it doesn't even make, I wish that person said, oh, she's Muslim, or she's a newcomer, I would take it maybe, but because I have kids and they get sick, or no?
Yeah, thank you.
So can I? Yes, we have her. So I wanted Patricia to have her comment, and I wanted to respond to what you said.
If you could use brief.
But we are going to be very brief, yes, because we have our guests.
I'm so sorry to hear about this story, Rabia. It's so sad. It's heartbreaking. But you know what I don't understand? I don't understand why that person didn't accommodate you, knowing that you have small children, sick children, or a child. They could have accommodated you. So therefore, there's no reason, absolutely no reason, that they should put you down. You have a lot of valuable experience to share, and they should have given you the opportunity. That's fine.
Yeah. And I think that you're going to hear that as the support for anyone you speak to, right? I'm a member of the BIPOC community, if you want to think. I don't feel like a member of that community. I just feel black, and I'm keeping it that way. Because what I found is the I, the P, and the O, and the C are not my allies. That's been my experience, right? Then give me my story. Anytime I go for a job and I don't get the job, and trust me, I've gone for many. When I get the job, I'm sending you an email. What could I have done differently? That's for me for next time. I'm not sure about them. That's for me for next time they've made their decision. Again, this is me telling my story and telling you what has worked for me. Nobody should ever put anybody else. And if you notice,
I emailed them.
Give me a minute.
And that person said there's nothing problem with you, but just we moved with someone else.
Their choice. And I think that's something where we have to figure out why and get into all that. Because there's on 80 side of the story as well, and we need to allow for that. Here's what I would say, right? And I think accessibility is important. And you heard us talk about the grant that we're doing. What did we say? We looked at ways to make it accessible for those people who we know can't do the expected, right? Today, for today's meeting, accessibility. There's food, people can eat. There's child-minded, those who have kids can come, right? And there's a cost associated with it. Doesn't matter, you're gonna have to beg more and still get the money, because again, it's about accessibility. And I think what we also need to do, we have to raise the issues that are happening in this community like that. We also have to say, and I went to a meeting and there was food and there was child-minded. Hey, can you do that for your meeting too? Let's challenge the status quo, right? If that's what we need to do. So that's what I would like to see. But anyways, that's my comment. So,
Thank you.
oh, and my other comment was we need to also celebrate Rabia because she completed her master's. Which is an amazing.
Thank you so much.
So congrats yourself. We tell each other all the wrong we've done, but we should also celebrate the good things. Anyways,
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it, Gail. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, apologies. Now we have what we call our final item on the agenda. Please introduce the group and then we can start us off.
So we have my friend Departs from the Black Chamber of Commerce. We have his presentation here queued up, and I will pass it over to him. So I've been saying he's coming. He's finally here, guys.
Hello, hello, hello. I am so sorry that you guys had to wait so long. I was coming from Hamilton, delivering a similar speech I'm going to give to you guys now to a bunch of students who are hungry for this and people in the community who are hungry for this. So I'm here to talk about accessibility. This is a big part of what we do. We are trying to take down barriers that prevent entrepreneurs from growing in this community and in this country. We are a national organization dedicated to building the trust in this community and building the wealth in this community. And I'm going to explain firstly what our organization is before I break down the programs and the funding opportunities that we have for you.
What did you say your name is?
My name is Departs. I also completed my master's. So, thank you. Business analytics and marketing. Thank you. Thank you. So we are a cultural chamber of commerce incorporated in August 21st, 2018. We like to think of ourselves as the hub of the Canadian Black business ecosystem that creates value, collaboration, and opportunities for all firms. A hub is essentially what we would like to call an open place for you to come and get resources, because that is something that our community has lacked in our time. We have our vision, which is to build wealth, trust, dedication, integrity, and innovation. So those of you who felt like you haven't been getting the proper support that you have been looking for, we're looking to have integrity break that boundary. We innovated this company in new ways, and we're trying to bring this wealth to you. Our mission, to engage, navigate, influence, empower, inspire our community, our Black businesses to grow and prosper in wherever they may be found. So this is not just for our local market, but our country market of Canada, even the global markets, because there is accessibility out there. Export-import is a big example of that. So we have a lot of opportunities, and we like to say ourselves as a voice. That's why we're here in this community, to talk to you guys face to face. We are not hiding in buildings. We are not hiding behind veils or not showing up. We are right here in your face to let you guys know that we are here to help you. I'm going to say it again. We're here to help you, right? And we're going to be a resource for that. Next slide. We have membership benefits. Of course, to become a member, if you're under the age of 35, it's free of charge. If you're over the age of 65, it's free of charge. But to be a member, you not only get access to these programs, stuff like that, you also get access to voting rights, unique opportunities to spotlight your business, and etc. There'll be more information for you later on. We'll switch it up there. Going to the Young Chamber mandate, we have a youth entrepreneurship program designed to enable and inspire youth. So all the young people in this place, all the young people listening, there's an opportunity for you to develop your business. We're not just closing it off. We're looking for everybody all to be inspired and to bring it forward. And now to get into the programs. We have 7 different programs available for you. These programs, what they're going to do is to help you elevate your entrepreneurship and help elevate your business. How many of us here today have a business or want to start a business? Fantastic. Whatever that idea is, you must have no fear. We are here to support you in whatever your desired goals are. In order for you to get started, we need to ask you the big questions. What is it? Why are you so passionate about it? Have you written it out? Have you drew it out? And what's the customer journey like? These type of questions are questions that are there to inspire you to be greater than where you are at the moment. If you have answered those questions, great. If you don't have answers to those questions, that's a good place to start. See, it's very important that we don't just come here and throw you ideas, but we actually walk you through the process. We have 16 advisors dedicated to one-on-one services to help you guys grow. Whether it be in, if you want to talk to them one-on-one, be part of a group cohort. The moment you sign up, you're going to be going through into this week or next week into an orientation. Once you're in the orientation, you'll be able to show in the window of how we like to onboard our new students. We have 90-day programs, and this is the first one, which is the Avro Business Accelerator. For any founder who's at the basics of running a business, if they're just starting, if your business is in your head and you see the potential of it growing, if you have an idea and you want to come talk to us about how viable that idea is to become a business, this is the program that starts you. It's a 90-day program. However, it is at your leisure time. We have different times for you to come in and join, and they're virtual, which means there are no ways for you to not take the opportunity. Because whether you're sitting at home, if you have a laptop or a phone, this is accessible to you. And our advisors are dedicated to help. The next program, once you get out of that, is the business writing program. Show of hands, how many people have their business plan written out? How many of your business plan have a revenue model? I would assume a lot of people do. How many of you guys have a supply chain model in your business? How many of you guys have actually mapped out the entire marketing 365 days of how that would work out to be? Finally, the toughest question I like to ask, not just the customer journey, but how do you plan on providing customer service to your clients with your business? You see, the questions that I'm asking are not for you to be shy away or for you to get discouraged. It's to help you, because the fact is, who else is telling you this? Just me, right? So it's very important that you guys sign up for these programs. The next one up, I like to call this one the gateway towards financial freedom. It's the Personal Financial Literacy Program. Everybody here has a bank. Everybody here has funds. They're working a job. They have different issues and different things that happen in life. We want to be able to help you grow your credit, grow your assets so that you're able to take advantage and take control of your life. For those of us who are in school, myself included, there's that debt ratio thing. This program, we have a dedicated advisor. His name is Curtis. He has been practicing financial literacy for 20 years. He's been traveling across Canada, giving advice to not just people like yourselves, but also hired from as far up as the government of Canada and the Credit Bureau to help with ideas to help grow people's credit. We have a success story to share with you. There's a person in our program who started out 3 months ago, same 90-day program. They came out and their credit score went up 100 points. Again, 100 points. How?
What was the base?
Using the plan. The base, so what do you mean by base?
What do you start off?
So once you sign up into the program, we take your personal credit into situation. Everybody's personality is different, right? So, for somebody like me in my story, I had to deal with my undergrad while also trying to find a stable position. And for me, it was tough because I was in a 680 credit score. From using this program and from doing my own personal financial literacy of, scaling myself to be able to pay off my debts in time, my credit score is at 780. So this program helps you to grow that way when you take up the proper steps. Again, it's a disclaimer. We are not going to be able to share this information with everybody, right? We definitely hide it around. I'm personal, so I'm being personal, right? Next program that we have is the Propel Mastermind program. So this program is actually for our firms who already have 100,000 in sales. Anybody with already sales revenue in their business? No problem. This program would be there once you get to that stage where we hook you up with a mentor and we help you to navigate towards getting to that platform and beyond. Because we actually want to get you to the next part, which is the next million. So in the Mentor Protege program, For those firms who's already in between that 100,000, 500,000, we want to get you to the first million. And we have about 20 or 22 people in this cohort already that we're helping get to their first million in sales for their company. We want to be able to come here and help you guys out with that too. The Masterclass series is the last program we'll talk about today. It's a sessioned out program where we bring in some of the hottest minds, some of the brightest minds across North America to come talk to you about leadership, about goals, about planning, and about running a business, right? And you get to access them in this Masterclass series. We have about 3 to 4 classes run at certain times throughout the week. This would be a class for you if you want to hear some of the greatest minds and CEOs speak to you about business. The Black Business Directory is another part of our company. We have a vision of mapping out Canada so that everybody can get access to Black businesses out there. I can see a lot of people here. We want to add your businesses to this directory. That way people can find you. There's no better way to start your business than to start advertising. So just look at this as your personal opportunity to start advertising your business and get phone calls, get people to start asking, and for you to start having that confidence to sell. Also, if you're looking for Black businesses in your area, this would be an opportunity. Yes?
Sorry, very quick. So I got so excited from the energy you were speaking.
Awesome. Thank you.
Give you credit, like, especially when you said millionaire with social. I felt like I'm going to have it right now. I was wondering what I'm going to buy. So it's lovely, wonderful what you are saying. But
Yeah.
how do you define Black? Is it by skin, by roots, by... Because I heard this word every slide, every sentence.
Yes.
You keep saying Black. And I wonder, I guess there are some Black people here.
So I guess I got to get back to the root of it.
I'm in between. I don't know
Right.
if I'm Black or white.
So
How are you gonna see me though?
So the question for the audience is, how do we define Black? I think that's a very important question because
This wonderful presentation, I'm gonna get nothing.
defining Black is a very important part. First thing I want to say is, in 2020, we witnessed some of the most horrific in terms of circumstances with George Floyd. And that sparked interest and sparked the creation of what we have here, the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce, as well as other Black business movements. Now, I understand that the Black term seems to be really gravitated towards, people who are Black or just Black business in general. That is not the case. We are not segregating anybody. We have a bunch of people from different races in our programs getting access to this stuff. We are of the BIPOC community, so we are serving everybody throughout.
But you would scare people by saying Black.
I understand that. It's because of the passion. Because of the passion. Now, in terms of just some of our friends out there in the African diaspora.
I'm so proud of that. That's why I'm like, even at school, I
Yes.
guys, I'm African.
We have employees from Africa, from the African nations. We have somebody here in the audience who's from Libya, fantastic country. I want to say this. If you identify as Black, if you identify as African, you are welcome. Do not feel the discouragement of the words we're using. Please come to me, sign up. We do not discriminate at all. So I just want to make that very clear. Yeah, for sure. Next slide. So again, the program, we also have funding opportunities, right? So these are some of our partners here on the slide there. You see BOFs on the table. We haven't talked to you about our other partners who are out there, CIBC, BMO. We have a lot of people working with us, BDO, trying to help Black businesses get their leg up. This is an opportunity for you. But I don't want to shy away and tell you that and just have you go once the whisk. I'm going to tell you guys personally. How many of you guys have actually been denied a business loan?
I never even applied because I know they're going to deny it. I didn't even apply.
Yes.
We live in a country where we have private banks
Correct.
that can stop you from being an account holder and not give you a reason.
Correct.
So do you know how many, like the Facebook groups?
It's in the millions, yeah.
So many
Yeah.
that have had their accounts closed
Right.
and not given a reason why.
Right. So that question comes out of basically like, where's the opportunity to grow people without the fear of being taken down? That's it. So to answer that question, when you sign up for this program, you are taking that opportunity to not be shut down. We have a mandate by the government of Canada, because we are a national organization, to support entrepreneurs throughout Canada. So when you do get a no, I can promise you to 110%, myself and my team will be asking those who said no, why? They will have to answer to us because we have the government of Canada behind us. They will have to answer to us because when you are denied a loan, guess what? If you have been denied a loan in the past, this is your opportunity to get that money now. If you can show proof that you have been denied a loan for any reason, you have a 100% chance of getting that loan secured. I repeat, if you've been denied a loan in the past, you have a 100% chance of getting that loan secured in the future when you sign up with us. For those of you who never applied, this is the opportunity to not just apply, to get into the program where we have advisors work with you one-on-one so that when you go get that loan, you go get those grants, you have the strength of our team behind you. See, there's a thing about the black community where we haven't been supported, right? There hasn't been anybody to kind of like help you get to the next level, next step. In our community, it usually is, hey, go out there and figure it out. Yeah. Well, guess what? We're coming to you to tell you, Big Brother's here. Oh, yeah. So come over and receive this help because we're not playing around.
You are getting me so excited.
For sure, for sure.
Then I count from now the 1 million. Okay, so we have something, a big theme in Regent Park, which is called Community Housing Residents and Market Rent Residents. So I want my brother make sure I live in one of those.
It's for everyone.
Okay.
It's for everyone.
Maybe the question is for you.
Yes.
Am I eligible for this, or I have to leave now?
Now here's how dedicated I am to the cause.
Thank you.
So myself personally, I run one of the programs in our buildings here because I realized how important it is to have the help be so close. I run the youth entrepreneurship program where I bring a speaker, I bring people who want to learn about the ways that people or who are youth are making inroads in entrepreneurship in our community. If you want a chance to meet those individuals, meet us and get into the program, please do come and sign up. We are looking to grow our partnership with TCHC even more because we realize how important having a resource like this in front of you on ground zero is. Like I said, we're here to support you, no small talk. Well, we pop in, a couple times a week, almost to like a couple times a month, but we don't have a physical space yet, but we are working on it.
So currently, they have a use of space agreement in 1 or 2 of our buildings.
Yeah.
In the future, when more space becomes available, there are options to be explored, but they are currently operating in Regent Park.
Yes.
When are they going to start to make people to register?
Well, that's what we're going to get to. So we have the website, which I took a Snapchat from. Yeah. We have the programs listed here. So there's no hidden parts of it. The programs most likely that you guys are going to be looking into are the ones here at the top 3 that are 90 days. Signing up for our cohort, being a part of that and having access to our advisors will be the key starting point so that we can assess what your issues are and help you break barriers. Now, for those of you who want the websites online, please come talk to me. Those of you sitting around and those of you at home, please type in blackchamber.ca. As it is, one word because it's a website. elevateblackbusiness.ca. Both of those links work out.
I think, Waleed, you had a question?
Yeah, it's a question actually for my good friend Shane.
Oh, it's for Shane? Sorry, we have a question for Shane.
You probably can answer it if you'd like, but is the confronting anti-black, like the office, is it working with groups like this? Because I'm thinking about, you're talking about financing opportunities, right?
Well,
and also like coaching and
yeah, we're talking about like a full wraparound service.
Yeah, wraparound support,
Yeah.
referrals as well. But in this conversation, what inspired me is like, I know, some people who have had their bank accounts shut down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not given a reason. Right? There's no advocacy organization there for those folks, right?
I see.
Unless they go through like complaint as a human right violation of some sort, right? But we're also looking for a sort of like advocacy when it comes to like policies, when it comes to like, for example, giving, real estate companies, for example, right? Yes. Like when you're doing requests for proposals, making sure that, there's preferences given to companies that are led by, the Black, indigenous, or other communities, that they're given opportunities, right? So that there's some sort of balance, right? Because certain industries are very, controlled, right? Like, so how do we make sure that we open up those doors, right? Like, do you folks do that advocacy work? Do you work with TCHC in that way, or no?
So, how, in terms of how the partnership came about, from the Chamber team. So she made the connection to me and the parse. So I don't have scope on what the center is doing in terms of policy, just because I'm more on the ground in Regent Park. But we're in the beginning stages of the partnership between the Black Chamber of Commerce and TCHC. So currently, are we looking into policy and advocacy? Not yet. Is that a place that we can get to in the future? It could be.
I think just to answer the second part of your question, myself and Doug, we realized I'm just gonna call for what it is, the racism and segregation that they have for Black businesses when it comes to giving them an opportunity. Like, oh, great, you're a Black business. Well, good luck to you. And so we went out there, looking and searching, right? We went out there trying to find, a solution, at least a startup, towards what we want to achieve. Because we believe that those contracts being given out, Black people should have access to those contracts. Maybe they could do it better. But how can you assess that if we don't get the opportunity? So, not to disclose this, but looks like I have to. Doug and I went out and we talked to York University about procurement opportunities. What procurement opportunities are essentially the contracts that go out, whether it be by the government or other bodies who are looking for a certain company to do this service, take care of this problem. There's a contract out, and usually it's a set number of companies who get those contracts. They take the work, and then they take their time to do it because there's nobody in the competition. We decided to go and put our names in and say, hey, those contracts you guys are giving out, you got to start segregating some of those to come to the Black community and to save them for Black companies who can do the work. So it's no longer just involved with a certain small group. Well, we got that partnership signed, that MOU agreement agreed. And right now, in terms of our membership, if you are a member of the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce, you have access to that portal to look through that portal. Even though it's through York U, we have a partnership with them. If there's procurement opportunities there, you have an opportunity to snatch that. That's the steps to where we want to go through even further, which is, talking to even the government of Canada and other sectors who have a big monopoly, real estate, like you said, and giving opportunity to Black real estate agents, giving the opportunity to Black businesses in construction, giving the opportunity to Black companies who are doing data science and other means of doing business. So we are starting. We recognize the problem. I will tell you right now, it's hard. It's hard for me, it's hard for Doug, it's hard for the rest of the team when it comes to trying to find these opportunities for you, but we do recognize it. And you gotta work with us and give us some time. Thank you.
Amazing presentation, amazing.
So I talked a lot about the Elevate Black Business Program. I talked a lot about what we're doing. Next slide. I think at this point in time, I just wanna open it up to questions. Next slide. Sorry, next one. Which is just questions, my bad. I have to go through it. So I am here, I'm standing tall, I'm standing strong to answer any questions, any worries you have before we get to my special and amazing part, which is that I have my laptop here with me. Usually, if you've gone to a lot of different other info sessions or talks, usually they say, hey, you can sign up online and that's about it. Here's my business card. Well, I have the info session, I do have my business cards, but I'm gonna sign you up. So if you want to get signed up, come talk to me. Yes, and we can sign you up. This is the type of difference of service the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce is offering.
I have a question.
So yeah.
Well, can we pass it to Gil?
Oh yeah. Please.
It is important for me that we do not water down what this is. Okay. And why there's a black chamber of commerce. And that's because historically, I mean, it's evident. Do you see it? Do you know any black, any of these businesses here owned by a black person? Not a one. Asian? Yes. Right? South Asian, East Asian, like, and I have, there's nothing against that for me. That's fantastic. That's the immigrant story. I love it. Yes. There's no black, right? And if I go up down Parliament, I don't know how many I'm gonna find. Maybe one, if I'm lucky, right? Okay. So we black people, we know where we need to go, where we need to shop, and it's not here, right? Because we got the one place on Danforth, then we go to Jane and Finch, and that's our reality. Right. So that's the reason why there's a black, and I love that you kept saying it, black Chamber of Commerce. They say it right? Yeah, but the black is our color. When we talk, we say we're black. We don't say, we actually don't even say we're from the Caribbean. We don't say we're Muslim, we say we're black because of that importance, right? So there's that for us. Are we African? I'm definitely African, right?
Keep that word,
right?
Because I'm included.
Yes. You're right, and you're right. We don't want to exclude people either, but I want us to recognize that that's the foundation for. And there are other types of associations. Every group has their own, because yeah, we all want to ensure that our people can thrive, and I think that is important. I will sign up if it's free.
It is free. I forgot.
Fantastic.
You're not over 35. It's not.
I am not over 35.
Wait. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go back.
Those people online, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my.
When I said that was only about the membership. I understand. But if I'm being very, very candid right now, all of the programs I talked about before, every single one of them, Avro Accelerator, Business Writing Plan, Financial Literacy, Mentor Protege, Master Classes, even the Youth Entrepreneurship Program, all the programs, all the support, access of the advisors for everybody, Africans especially included, are free. I'm so sorry.
Thank you so much.
But they're free. No, so if you're at home right now, please do not think, oh, well, you know, like I can't afford this. No. It's free.
Yeah, I'm not
We are here.
Sign up.
It's free. And
Make sure that Rabia gets to sign up.
First one. So you said that.
see, that's why Shane was telling you that he's coming. Cause like I knew I need to be here. So I came from Hamilton just now. So
you made up my day at least.
I don't live in Hamilton, right?
Like really.
I don't live in Hamilton. I was out there doing a similar thing like this for the community out there.
The energy you brought, wonderful. Wallahi al-azim.
And again, when I came here, I knew I had to bring that energy because, hey, it would rob you guys if I didn't come with that energy. You know what I'm saying? I'm working for you.
Told you. Wonderful. Wallahi.
Vote for me now.
Shane, can you have him in your team so we can see him? Wallahi, we're going to be very rich.
This is really serious talk because like I was sharing, before this revitalization even started, we had a vision. I was a child, right? Like we had a vision of black people. So I'm gonna call it because it was only black, Asian, Chinese, Vietnamese, and white people. That's all I saw here. We had a vision, the Malcolm X vision, black economics, owning our own home, owning our own business, doing our own thing, emancipation. Freedom. Yes. We are here 40 years later. How many people own a home that look like me or look like Rabia? How many people own businesses right here in Regent Park that look like me, look like Rabia, look like Waleed, look like you, Daraz, Doug? Is Doug black? DeParse. Sorry. DeParse.
So, DeParse, sorry. What am I saying?
All I'm saying is, like, this is great, but will this help us to establish what we want here in our own community? Because we don't want.
That's a big question.
Oh, because we don't. I don't want to be doing something. Let me word it differently. I would like to be doing something here to give back here, where I was raised.
Yes,
right.
Right? Not to be getting all this information and then, I cannot afford here because this corporation is
do it in Scarborough or somewhere. No.
So then I have to go somewhere else.
I want to challenge all of you folks to think about something, and I learned this from Tiffany and she's, you know, an awesome indigenous, you know, brilliant woman who talked to me about an indigenous land trust. Indigenous land trust. They're starting to build, like, set up land trusts. And imagine in phases 4 and 5, Joanne. I want to challenge you, I want to challenge Ravi, I want to challenge everyone here. Imagine if we started exploring that, you know, as an opportunity, right? To think about how we could start setting up land trusts that could be, you know, help address housing, help address the opportunities that we need in our community.
Right.
So it's thinking beyond the box, because right now I'm worried about the influence. I'm worried about the influence of people with money and not necessarily the communities. And how do you empower communities, right? So just an idea for you to think about.
I think, I mean, I don't want to give the interpretation, right, that the political conversations can be kind of equated to what we're doing here. So like what we're doing is entrepreneurship, trying to support our community by giving us an opportunity at some of the barriers that have been vocalized before: lack of funding, lack of opportunity, lack of access. I think the idea of indigenous land trust, the idea of, you know, affordable housing for all Black people in the land, I think they're very important discussions needs to be had. I want to say that these are discussions that are not so different from our friends and family members who were around 50 years ago, or even from Dr. King, who spoke about this just in the land of Atlanta. And, you know, Doug and I are Americans, right? So we have a really big touch when it comes to African Americanism and being Black. And what we can say is that we will try our best to make sure those who can and who are going to listen can hear. Because one of the reasons why we even got to this point with the Black Community Chamber of Commerce is by voicing that out, right? You know, voicing our opinions. Unfortunately, something did occur in 2020 that also helped with the shed of light of opportunity, and it shouldn't have to come to that. But we have to keep the original part of the movement, which is to speak up and be heard.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, make sure to hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of our content. And if you'd like more of us, make sure to visit our website or follow us on our social media platforms.